meeting, which Ricardo and I started three months ago. It's just very informal. There's almost no slides, but just to get together and discuss the latest on AI. And unfortunately, Ricardo had a commitment, so he won't be able to join. Last time I was not there. I had a family event, an important event with my kids, graduation from university, and Ricardo has something with a client. So, but he sent us a video and a small demonstration. So we're going to share that. So before that, before I share the video, I'll give a brief update on what we're doing, Ricardo and I, just that you know. And then we'll show the video and have a bit, what I wanted to do today is a bit different. So we are going to create breakout rooms so that you meet other people, and we'll give you a small task so to see any changes in project management through AI that you have really seen. So before that, so let me welcome everyone. Ricardo and I have been working over the last month together with the team in the AI project management certification with APMG International. So this is going to be piloted in a few weeks. We aim to launch September. So it's a certification which is a foundation certification. If you follow our masterclass, you will very easily remember most of the topics. And if not, Ricardo and I have worked on an online course, which are extracts from the masterclass that will allow you to, again, see what we talk in the masterclass, plus the ability to take the exam and get certified. It's interesting because there's not many certifications on AI. There are a few, but I think the fact that we are doing something new, fresh, applicable to what we do, it's something that APMG has appreciated, and some other training academies have contacted us to work together on that. So that's the certification, and we'll share more as soon as it's ready and we pilot it. We'll share and we'll make some promotion. Second point is about the next masterclass. You know, Ricardo and I try to do this on a quarterly basis. Unfortunately, we are too busy. So the next one will be in December. If you have not participated, you're interested, you're very much welcome. You'll find the information on our website and all the details. There's still a promotion. I think it's about 20%. The third part is that we're working together is this AI Venture Lab. So what does it mean? Is anybody that's working in project management, in projects, in transformation, and has an idea on AI tool or solution that can be developed to help other organizations and project managers, we are interested. We could provide advice, we can provide some fundings, we can provide access to some of our contacts. So that has been also very, very interesting. And I hope next time we talk in a month, we can share some of I think we received 6 or 7 pitches, ideas that have, some of them are already a bit more advanced, some other are early stage, but it's super interesting to see project managers, experts trying to become entrepreneurs as well. And I think that's what we want to encourage. So that's kind of the more introduction topics. The masterclass, the certification, the venture lab are all in progress. From my side, and before I share the video, the latest developments I've seen is that companies have started to take AI more serious than before. Before was an experiment, and many companies have started to develop their own ChatGPT or GPT. If we're talking about bigger companies, they have invested in GPTs, not necessarily on the project management space, but they've done that on procurement, on contracting, but I don't think that's where the big potential is. What I see is that there's a more focus, more attention now, where companies are ready to start investing than before, which I think is great. But what does it mean for us? Well, we need to provide that visibility, that ensuring that we know about AI and project management to help them. One particular case that I'm working on is a super big multinational who want to develop their own machine learning algorithm to prioritize projects. If you were in previous calls, you know that we have developed what it's called the AI predictor tool, which is a machine learning algorithm where it helps you prioritize 100, 300, 1,000 projects based on their probability of success. And this machine learning algorithm can be replicated. So this big company has asked if we can create their own machine learning algorithm to prioritize their projects and help them with the prioritization process. So I think this is excellent progress. I think the maturity is now there to connect AI and projects and project management. There's still a lot of big room for improvement. So obviously, I think we're at the beginning, but the acceleration is starting to happen. So that's from my side, the bigger, kind of more concrete, because I'm working on the proposal at the moment for big company to develop their own machine learning algorithm. So that's happening as we speak. What I want to do next is show you the video from Ricardo, who has made, I think he talks about a demo. He will do a small demo here as well on latest things that he has seen. And then afterwards, we'll go to breakout rooms, and then we'll let you network and come up with some whatever you have discussed to share with the larger group. So let me share my screen here. Voila. Here is Ricardo. He's in Brazil at the moment. Unfortunately, he has this commitment, but let me launch here the video, and you see our friend Ricardo with glasses. I've not seen him many times with glasses, but here we go. Let me see, double check. I have the sound share here on. Oh, okay, here we go. Thank you, Ricardo.
You all. I'm here in Brazil today, and I did 2 small surgeries, one in the feet and one in the eyes, and I'm still recovering. And at this time that you are watching this presentation, I'm flying, so I'm unable to be with you on this month webinar, but I'm absolutely sure that Antonio is doing amazing, and I'm looking forward to see you next month. But what I want to share with you what is in my radar when we are talking about artificial intelligence. So what is coming to my mind this month in terms of evolution of AI, things that are really, I would say, making me think and making me revisit some of my concepts. And this is what I want to go very quickly with you on that. And the first thing I want to share is I was very surprised because there is a very big movement of using AI in online education. And it's not as we thought about AI being replacing the professor, but AI as a tutor, AI reducing the burden and the level of work and the work required by, for example, the instructor or the teacher. And there is a place called Eureka Labs, and this place that I'm just pointing to you here, this place, Eureka Labs, it's a new venture, and they are releasing on GitHub, for those who know how to program, tools about building a storytelling, and this using large language model, using generative AI to be a tutor and to help people to educate. And why this raises my attention? Because, for example, if you are working on a PMO or if you are working sharing a method, a methodology, or a process, These can be extremely helpful on reducing the workload of individuals to train people. For example, one of the things that is the biggest challenge for us is to bring people on board. And with this kind of tool, this is something that can help and accelerate in a dramatic way. So this is the first thing that came to my mind this month. The second thing is about emotional AI. And I'm talking about this for a long time. Last month, I spoke about the article I wrote with André Barcaoui that was published at the London School of Economics. And it came to me this place that is a lab, and there is a venture that explore and try to understand what are the ethical implications of emotional AI or artificial emotional intelligence. And this organization is a collaboration between Japanese organizations, UK organizations, universities, and they're trying to understand what are the boundaries of an ethical use of emotional AI. For example, up to what level I can use emotional AI, for example, to track emotions of someone in a Zoom call, or emotions that people are having, for example, during a recruitment. And this, so it's and one of the very nice things I suggest you to go, it's go in this area here that is called standards. And you will see that they are developing a standard of ethical AI when you're talking about emotions. For example, psychology, service, career, children education, so several areas. So this is something that it's big in my radar. I did a webinar recently on projectmanagement.com talking about that, and probably 95% of all the questions I received were about this ethical aspect. And these came to me, and I need to be super honest with you. I saw this something like 3 weeks ago. And it's something that I really want to share with you, because I think you can benefit a lot about this, that what they are trying to convey, what they are trying to do in terms of understanding the benefits of emotional AI, but also all the challenges. The third thing that is also a surprise, because if you go back to the first time Antonio and I did that, I started saying, look, we will have a massive breakthrough when ChatGPT, when this large language model, every time I'm using ChatGPT, I'm meaning all the concept because it's the most popular one. And last week, DeepMind, I post this on my LinkedIn and other channels, won the silver medal in the International Mathematical Olympiad problems. And they have two programs. One is called Alpha Proof, and the other one called Alpha Geometry for geometrical and trigonometry problems. And DeepMind, for those who do not know, DeepMind was the creator of AlphaGo, the AI model that is now unbeatable on the Go game. And this was a topic for a movie of 2016 that is already on YouTube about this model. And DeepMind belongs to Google. Did that. And why this is a massive breakthrough? And this happened, look, this happened last week. Why this? Because one of the big things we do as a project managers is to do this kind of calculation and this kind of analysis on trying to understand critical path, or trying to understand budgeting, trying to decide on suppliers in this. And with this development, we may have, I would say, in 1 year, 1.5 years, tools that will have an extremely competent mathematical reasoning. And this, for me, is a breakthrough moving towards AGI, or artificial general intelligence, because today we're very good on creativity, on words and imaging with this ChatGPT, Dolly, Midjourney, but they are not very good. ChatGPT is not good in math. It can do some basic stuff, but if you go a little bit deeper, it's not what the model is supposed to master. But when you see a movement like this one on DeepMind, this changed completely the game, because maybe in the future we will have a place where we can do, for example, I'm testing some tools on mathematical that I write a problem and I select the area and it sort out the problem for me. I'm not doing this demo today because it's not ready yet, in my view, to share with all of you, but I will share as soon as I have it. And now also Apple Intelligence is doing that. I'm already testing Apple Intelligence on my phone now, and for example, you can use this kind of tool here using through Siri, and the calculator of these devices is becoming absolutely brilliant mathematical companion. So this is something that is for me also on the top of my mind this month. Another thing that I tested, I work a lot and most of the time in international environment. For example, I'm not a native speaker of English, so I'm learning Spanish. So I was invited to test a tool called speaks.ai. They invited me to test, and do you know what I did? I took the presentation I did last month and I dubbed it into Arabic, and I sent to some friends and they said to me that it was good. Okay, so it was good.
عندما أتكلم يجذبني فقط حركة وجهي وتحديد عواطفي. دعني أشرح لك ماذا يعني هذا لنا بشكل أوضح. انظر إلى السعادة التي نشعر بها.
Incredible, because I shared this, probably you in the audience, some of you speak Arabic, and what people said, that is a very good Arabic speaking. It means it's a very decent. They are still working on the dubbing of my lips to make sure that there is a full synchronization. But what was a surprise, I don't know a single word in Arabic. Probably inshallah and shukran. These are the two words I know. And what was very impressive, it was my voice. And for you working in virtual teams, I think that we need maybe to revisit the concept of language, because I believe that in the medium to long term, I would say maybe 2 to 3 years, this concept of speaking the language may become irrelevant. Please, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that it may become irrelevant because it's so crazy what is happening. That is always a big challenge and a big point for me, and I was surprised. And this I could do in Danish, I could do in Spanish, I did in Arabic just because I wanted different language. So you can go there. Of course, this is not sponsored. Well, I'm not partner, I'm not owner, but just for you to know. And I'm pretty sure that tools like Zoom and Microsoft Teams will have this feature, this type of feature naturally. It means I will speak here in Portuguese, that is my mother tongue, and you all will listen in the language you want, and it will sound like my voice with my emotions and this. So I think this is a future that is much sooner. It's happening much sooner than we think. Another thing I want to share with you is another tool that I'm very, I would say, surprised about emotional tracking. I shared this recently. It's EMLO Cloud. It's called Emotional Logic, that takes any video from you or for anyone, and it does an analysis of my current emotional state. It means 8 aspects of emotions and saying current emotional style. For example, defensive, emotional, and this. And let me just show you for you to see how I'm speaking. It means I can take any video from anyone, even without the approval. If this video is public on YouTube, you can do that. So take a look on this post I did, and take a look on this side, on the emotional side.
In 2041 Mumbai, Diana's family got lower insurance premiums by signing up with Ganesh.
Sometimes logical, sometimes energetic. Did you see the movement here? Okay, the movement on this. So
Soon,
I
their
honestly,
phone buzzed with
I
recommendations.
honestly
The apps
need to say one thing to you. I think this will be so natural very soon. We will be in a project meeting, for example, using a tool like this one, and you will know it's engaging, not engaging, and it's true or not. And I think this will be something like part of how we do projects and how we manage projects, how we manage stakeholders. So you'll be in a call with, I would say, a critical stakeholder, and you will be able to say, is she buying your idea, not buying your idea, etc. I think that there is a lot going on this emotional side that and why I'm saying this, because many people were thinking that this emotional will be only human based emotion, and I have been challenged by that because I thought that too, and now I can see that it's happening much faster. Okay, I'm sure Antonio will share this with you, that we are moving with the Venture Lab. We received several applications. If I'm not wrong, Antonio will update you. We have something like 6 or 7 proposals. We are starting this first round. So we should have an update, I would say, in something like 30 to 60 days, trying really to bring this unicorn in project management, trying to combine different ideas. So it's moving. And on the certification, I'm very happy also to share that the exam is ready. We are testing the foundations, we're reviewing the material, and we are still with our deadline to release this open to everyone at the beginning of September. So basically, that's all on my side. Thank you very much, Antonio, for stepping up on my behalf. I wish you all a great month ahead, okay? And we are looking forward to see you all in September. Antonio, back to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ricardo. Always nice to hear, and all these experiments that you're doing. And every time I see Ricardo with his experiments, I wonder what's the impact on projects and what can we leverage all these technologies like the face and all these dots. And is it positive or is it more a risk that we'll start having faces that we don't recognize, or these avatars, and you know who's true and not? So more than an opportunity, sometimes I find it a risk. How can we know? How can we manage? Especially we're doing projects which are sensitive or and confidential. How can we ensure that nobody comes from outside? And I don't know. So there's a lot of new things that makes our job more interesting, more challenging. We need to think about these ethics, but also about security, cybersecurity. You all face maybe to more extent or to less extent the crash of Microsoft through this other company, and it created quite some impact, at least in some companies I know, in the airspace as well. So how much do we need to know about cybersecurity now? How important is cybersecurity in our projects? It looks like it's becoming more and more important, right? So it seems, moving on, it seems that we cannot, I don't know why, it's the first time it happens, but we don't have breakout rooms in this call, which is a bit unfortunately. So what I want to ask is if anybody in the call has a point of view or deep expertise already in one of the areas with AI and project management, I'd like that you put that in the chat or in the Q&A, and we'll bring you in to share. I think we have 220 people on the call, so I'm sure some people have already some experience. My experience is growing every day. So I was talking about the predictor and the prioritization. I was talking to another big company who said, do you know anything about AI and planning? Because we build factories. Can you help us with finding a tool that can do the planning part of project management, but in a AI way, so that we don't need to spend all the time? So this is questions that I receive from prospects, from clients, from people I know about, can you help me to look for AI? That's what I was telling you before. I see that now is becoming part of the discussions that we have is, can you provide AI solutions? Can you look at the market? So I'm very excited. I think it's really, really interesting. The other thing I think you all are in this call, so I'm sure you're using all ChatGPT and maybe Gemini or Perplexity. I use Perplexity and ChatGPT a lot. Yesterday, I had to translate a PowerPoint of 135 slides about the project Canvas, this template or tool that I developed. It's in English, and I was recording this morning a course on the project Canvas in Spanish. So imagine translating 135 slides at once into Spanish slide by slide. So I explore, I try things, I use ChatGPT, I ask GPT, what's the best way to translate from PowerPoint to a Word document, and ChatGPT gave me the option, says either you copy paste, but that will take you too much. You can create a macro using Visual Basic, and that will, you download all the text from all the slides, because that's the challenge with PowerPoint slides, that you have the outlines, but you don't have all the text. So you can create a Visual Basic, or you can program in what's the name of the tool, the famous one I got from ChatGPT. Anyway, you can program. And I told them, okay, let me try the macro. Can you develop for me a Visual Basic macro to download all the text into English, into a Word document, so that I can translate? And the macro was there. I copy paste, I run the macro worked. I had all the text in like 2 minutes of the 130 slides. Then I used ChatGPT to translate. Translation of ChatGPT or any of these tools is much better than Google Translate. I can imagine some of you, most of you have used Google Translate, and it's limited and it's not perfect. ChatGPT is amazing. So another 5 minutes, I had already the text translated into Spanish. There's just 10 minutes, and it saved me like maybe 25 hours of work. And then the challenge was copy pasting everything. So there again, I asked for Visual Basic, and we created like at least the first version of the Spanish translated slides were there. And in 2-3 hours, I had 80%, 90% of the slides translated in Spanish. From yesterday to be ready this morning to record for 2-3 hours the course that I'll launch next week on the Project Canvas. So I think the possibilities are unlimited. I think we need to deblock, say, okay, that's not possible. Try. You know, ChatGPT has bias. You cannot trust some things, but you can use it in your advantage in many, many ways. Let me see quickly on the chat. Python, correct, Nevila. Yeah, Python. That's the third option that I got. Yeah, exactly, Nevila. The ChatGPT translation is really much better. It's just really almost perfect. I use it just to correct some of my text or fine-tune my emails, fine-tune my... It's just great. It's not perfect for everything, but yes, it's great. The list of prompts, I'm just going through some of the questions as well. If you have questions, just put them in the chat. If you want to come and share something, not commercial, please, but just to share some of your experience, we'll just make you part of the panel, okay? Any list of prompts, Pritam, which can be used. I think the prompt site has been quite extensively developed by PMI. I don't know if you're a member of PMI. I don't know how much PMI has for free if you're not a member, but they have a lot of prompts, prompt guides for work related to projects. So I would go to that to look first. And then there's a few people I follow, so I get daily emails from, I don't know, I can put here a few of them in the meantime, but you get like the best practice prompts. Every day there's a prompt engineer, which makes me think about how can use it. So I would recommend to start following people who talks about prompt because you learn a lot. With a small team, Nevila. With a small team, we created a proof of concept for EVM approach on ChatGPT and PIM. Nevila, can we try to put you and can you explain briefly what you did there? Let me see, Sulil, can you try to bring Nevila Lucy to the call? I don't know if I have that flexibility here.
Sí.
So Nevila, we'll try to bring you up so that you can share your screen and you tell us about that thing that you've done with ChatGPT and Infinity. We choose
Lucy.
Nevila, and then we have Misael as well, Castro. We are using generative, so especially ChatGPT for, so any of these two could be great to share a bit more and see what you're doing.
What's the name? Can you repeat, please?
Yeah, Nevila Lucy and Misael Castro. If you go to the chat, you will see Nevila Lucy and
Nevila?
Misael Castro.
Yes, she's allowed to talk.
Nevila, you're allowed to talk, and if you want to share to your camera, you can. You don't need to. But can you elaborate a bit? How did you use ChatGPT for creating that proof of concept?
I think she needs to unmute herself.
Nevila, you cannot talk. Hello.
Yes, can you hear me?
Now we hear you. Nice to meet you, Nevila.
Finally.
Where do you call
Nice to
from?
meet you. I'm following you from several weeks, and I'm amazed of the information that you are sharing about the latest trends on AI. So thank you, and
Where are you
Ricardo.
calling from, Nevila?
Right now, I'm in Albania, but I'm volunteering with a team for a consulting company in US.
Okay.
And we are just testing some prompts to compare or to see the approach between ChatGPT and PMI Infinity on project health and also on EVM. So we kind of going to present it today. So most probably it will be like in 45 minutes. So I need to be prepared for it. And I'm going to share my link, the post. It's free webinar. It's testing these prompts that we have used and what the results are in terms of comparing the ChatGPT level of approach versus PMI Infinity. And we got some nice results. I mean, it's just an initial work. So we are just experimenting. And I hope we will have some new inspirations from your latest sharing to continue this work and to elaborate further tools for project managers.
Thank you, Nevila. Yes, put the link, and we'll try to follow up. I'm curious to see any new inventions is great. So please do that.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Sure. I have also invited Misai Castro. Can you briefly explain what you've done with generative AI on educational programs? I like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Good morning, Antonio, and good morning, everybody. I been joining every month to hear novel things in this space or this forum. I really like it, and I didn't. I don't want to miss any in the future. But yeah, actually, something that I want to share is that we have an educational program, which is negotiations for project manager. We are sponsored by 6 PMI chapters. And what we are doing as part of our educational program is that we have made demos and we are using generative AI to train the people, to make role play and learning negotiations using different strategies, tactics, when going into a negotiations, right? And we also have challenges. We have used the generative AI to build some challenges, like think about that you may want to negotiate with Donald Trump, right? He's a tough guy and you want to split $2 million and you want to play a challenge with him. So we built also the prompt and we use ChatGPT specifically with these kind of challenges. And also we last month we did some also body language as part of our program, and we use also generative AI to help us analyze what happened in a negotiation room, right? So that people can understand, can learn what went well, what went wrong, and what body language the people in that negotiation used, so that it is also for training purposes. So that really also help us to train the people and take advantage of the ChatGPT in this case.
Thank you,
So,
Misael. Very, very interesting. And keep us posted. I think anything that people are doing, use this platform to share, and everybody will learn from that. So that's one of the goals that Ricardo and I had when creating this, not just me and him, but there's many people working on that. So like you, Michelle, and Yuval, please share that and we'll
absolutely,
just communicate with the rest for sure. Thank you.
absolutely. Thank you
Thank
very
you
much.
very much. I see in the chat, Ramiji, you have put there this Ryzen framework in prompt. This is something that I've read before. Ryzen stands for role input, for steps, expectation narrowing. So yeah, I think usually ChatGPT works better in chunks than telling them to do everything. Step 1, steps 2, steps 3, and then progress. You can ask GPT to write a prompt for whatever you're doing. This is one of the things that I learned last week is I want to look for I'm writing a new book for Harvard Business Review. It's around kind of project-driven organization. I know data from ChatGPT is not perfect. Statistics are not perfect. So, but I use the ChatGPT to tell me to create a prompt for me to do the best way to research on this topic, and it writes me the prompt. So, and then I use the prompt and I get better results than if I would write them. So try to ask ChatGPT to write the prompt on what you're looking for, and it's amazing too. So, and I'm using ChatGPT the most of the time. Also, Perplexity tends to be better in referencing and accuracy. And now when you get links, when you ask for sources, most of the time work, mostly in Perplexity, and then you can have that in ChatGPT. You still get links where it says file not found, or so that's still something to improve. By the way, one thing that I learned yesterday, I can put, when I was translating the slides, some slides had like a picture, so I could not just so I was putting the picture on ChatGPT and I said translate, and it was translating the picture. So it reads some pictures too, which I thought, wow, this is great. So I was just copy pasting some of the pictures and it was making the full translation. So that was another thing that was super useful. I don't need to group cut and translate, write in English, and then no, it was just picture, translate. Wow. So that's kind of things that happens when you use it. You just learn all the time. I'm going to go quickly to the questions. And thank you, Ramji, for adding the explanation there, and even an example, which is great. So I recommend that you look into that. But here are a few questions. What are your thoughts on the ethical use of AI? For example, AI image generation, learning from artists who have not given their consent. It's anonymous at the For me, the way I see the world, I think there's people who are working with AI on good faith, for improving, for doing better for many people, for society, even for making money. That's okay, that's fair. That's why we have the venture lab. But there's for sure, 100% sure, there are people who are investing in AI for bad things, for like crime and attacking through cybersecurity. And I think that's what scares me, that I know this world, there's the people who want good and some people want bad, and there tend to be good project managers. Unfortunately, they have a purpose, they have a vision, even if we don't like it, they invest their focus and they get ahead of them before the other bunch of people. So definitely, yes, ethical use, and people, I'm sure people are using it on not ethical basis, and they're probably working on things that will really be challenging to manage. So I think it's like I was saying with the Microsoft thing, it's more and more obvious that we need to prioritize on these aspects more than before. In our role as project leaders, we need to put top on the agenda. It's ethics, but it's also privacy, cybersecurity, more and more. Before it was not, most of the time was not part of our scope. Now it's becoming part of our scope. So I don't know what will happen. I'm sure people are working on the bad side for making their own whatever they want to do. So we need to just be very, very careful. Like you say, medical information and all this, it's just scary, and it's just going to happen. So just need to be prepared. When we look at risk management, what are the risks? We know that we need to think about that. Jack, hey Jack, good to see you from China. Nice to see you, Jack. How to select AI tools for project management, as so many tools in worldwide. This is a big challenge. One of the challenges that I've seen in project management is when you invest in a tool, there's no exit strategy. So most people jump in a tool, they do maybe a good selection of the tool, they do RFP, RFI, they do demos, and they choose one tool for a CRM software or an ERP, SAP, for example. Now in tools on related to AI, maybe you create your GPT, but at some point, there's always new technology coming up, and better technology, maybe cheaper. But if you're locked into that technology, then it's just really difficult to step out. So, Jack, for me, for project management, are the tools that we share in the Masterclass, these tools that we have seen. I've seen clients are working with them. So one of them, we talk about Scope Masters. So this is a tool that has been developed by somebody I know, Colin, and this is a tool that is really focused on agile, on scoping, on user stories. This tool works. There's another tool from Deployment Factory, which is used by governments to track thousands of projects. I've seen it. I will bring that next time in one of our calls to my partner there. So, but then all these other tools, I don't know which one is the best. I use a lot ChatGPT with knowing that there's the risk of where does the data go, what happens. So be careful with what you do. But whichever tool you use, Jack, for me, the new thing for project managers is let's have an exit strategy from the beginning. So we can do a demo, and maybe the demo is great. And most of these good tools, they have great salespeople that will sell anything, not just their tool. And the risk is that you commit too far and then you cannot pull it off. So I think that's the new thing for me that I care is what's my exit strategy? Can I leave if I don't like this tool? Even if I put 6 months already, I need to be able to pull out. And this is something that you need to start negotiating from the beginning. Okay, you don't want to be tight and then you miss lots of opportunity, plus you blow up lots of money. Okay, Jack. So there's a lot of tools. We share a list of tools in the masterclass. I think there were 90 tools. It's just very hard to just follow on all of them. Jack, I think it's more whatever we recommend we've seen, but there's probably more than we don't know, and maybe there's better. The other thing, Jack, is Microsoft Copilot is bringing all these GPTs in their Word, in their Excel, in their PowerPoints. So I think by naturally, these improvements in documents and tools that we use on a daily basis, like Excel, PowerPoint, will make your work better. Maybe it's not an end-to-end solution for the projects, but all the time that you spent on PowerPoint and Words and Excel, will be just reduced by 90% if we know and learn how to use these tools embedded in the. So I think that will have already an impact in our projects when this becomes a bit more mature. So that's the other way to look at this. Thank you for the question, Jack. Guy, Wolf, AI application may help in capitalizing on lessons learned by looking at previous projects and the issues. Yes, capturing lessons learned has often been a check the box. Absolutely. Have you seen a project portfolio tools are helping organizations? No, absolutely. You're touching a point that is super important. Lessons learned. Lessons learned is something that we have all followed, right? It's something that we learned to do because we did the PMP or the Prince, and it was part of the whole thing, but nobody was using the lessons learned, right? We just make this checklist and then we make a list and it goes to a SharePoint and it goes into a hole that nobody ever checks, right? So we've done that, we've seen that. We had these knowledge databases that nobody was using and we were spending lots of time. I think now the thing is different. I think now ChatGPT can tell you, look at the past 10 projects in digital transformation, tell me what can go wrong. What were the mitigation actions? So without giving particular information from you, you can use ChatGPT as a source for data and lessons learned. I think that is more generic. The next step will be that companies that have the ability to create their own GPTs will be able to use the GPTs as part of the lessons learned, and not just at the beginning of the project, but throughout the project. We found this new surprise. What would you do? And I think in the midterm, that will also allow the tool to take decisions for you. So I think I've not seen really a portfolio tool at that level, but I think we're going into that direction for sure. If you want systems, AI, to take decisions for you as a project manager, the learning piece has to be embedded and continuous learning for that software, the machine learning. The algorithm that I developed for prediction of success, it learns. We started with 500 projects. There's 800 projects now, and it becomes more accurate. So I think this is part of those tools that we're seeing more and more. Thank you, Guy, for the question. I'm checking here a few on the chat. Yeah, please connect on whatever, put your link in. Feel free to reach out and connect. This is part of what we want. I review 100 plus blogs, articles, and 100 scientific articles from the last 12 months looking for AI in project management. See a lack of well-developed case studies. Daniel Carson, thank you for sharing that. Yes, the same on our site. And we have somebody that comes to a masterclass, Golce from Turkey, Istanbul, working in London, entrepreneur, and she has this list of tools, and they've tested all these tools that I think it's a list of 80, but there's no kind of end-to-end, there's no really case studies. It's just people are starting to use it. The only tools that I've seen with case studies is the one that I'm talking, Scope Master, Deployment Factory, Offfolio. Even we were talking about PMO Auto, AI Predictor. So it just don't see much. I think there's a lot of talking, there's a lot of experiments, but really case studies where you see this is the benefit that you can measure and make a business case. I've not seen either too much, except for the tools I just talked. Thank you, Daniel, for the question. If you find something, let us know and we'll share it next time. I can share my experience, if you may, to present the way I use it in UN context, United Nations. I know, yeah, happy if you can share what you did in UN context, of course, super interesting. The only thing, I don't see who you are because it says anonymous attendee. So if you can tell us who are you, and nice, I see some people connecting in Italy already for a beer or a coffee. Just let us know and we'll try to join. Nice. Should I reinstate my PMP just to get this AI? Kathy, I think today there's still a disconnect, or there's no correlation between PMP and AI. I think PMP is still appreciated, at least in my corporate experience. Is something that when you receive 100 CVs, one of the first criteria where you screen is, does this person have a PMP or a Prince2 or something that others don't have? And that will help. It's like a cutoff. Doesn't mean that you will get the interview, but the PMP is still used as something that shows that you have interest, that you've learned the basics. The same for other certifications. So Kathy, I would not say you can choose one or the other. AI would be more on top. It's an addition, like you will develop more on scheduling or risk management or program management. But I think PMP is still kind of the gold standard in this space. I don't know for how long, okay? And I hope for long, but maybe not. This is all about certifications future, which I don't know. I think they will be needed. Ramji, how will the copyright be managed for a content generated with the assistant? Ramji, this is something that touches me personally. I'm writing a new book with HPR. And one of the first things that they told me, they added to the contract, is the second one I write with them. The first one didn't have anything on AI. The first one, there's no clause who talks about, this was 2018, imagine, just 5 years ago. And this one, there's a clause where you have to confirm and sign and commit that you will never share the content that I develop into one of these Gen AI tools, ChatGPT, or I cannot share the content there. So imagine I've written a chapter and I want ChatGPT to review it and edit it and fine tune, and I cannot do that because the content is gone. It's not in me. So on that way, from me to ChatGPT, the copyright is super, super careful. I'm sure in the end that they managed to get, most of my books are already there. I never accept it, but that's the way it is. But there's more interest on ensuring that what we put, it's safe. The other way around, I don't know. I think, how can you guarantee copyright? I just don't know. Sometimes I see myself, when you write books, some people have a team behind. Yeah. So, and there's ghost writers, people who write books for famous people who will pay and they don't have the time. So you could see ChatGPT a bit of that support that you don't have because you're not working as a faculty and you have 10 PhD working on research. Some of the most important faculty who write, they have a team behind who does the research and probably a lot of writing behind, and the professor is the one that fine-tunes and directs. So you could think about ChatGPT being your own team, but still the copyright, if you're using copyright material, then becomes an issue. So it's a very interesting topic, Ranji. I'm full on it, and I don't have a final answer. It's just delicate. Federico, hey, nice to see you. Any progress about general AI to support PMs? I don't, it's what we talk. I've seen a few tools that we share, but end to end, I've not seen any tools. My hope is that we'll have GPS type of tools for projects where you will say, okay, I'm going from here and that's the destination. And then you take me the fastest way or the cheapest way or the less bumpy way or the nice looking way. And the GPT will tell you, this is like you're going that way. You want me to go back, and take decisions for you to get to the goal, so that most projects will be successful, but we're far from there. We're far. And if anybody has an idea, business opportunity, just let me know. Okay, let Ricardo and myself know. What else? How will be the recording be accessed? We'll send usually a link, and it's put in our website, AI. The website that we use is called PM Revolution. I'm going to put it here. You'll have their information about the website, and you'll find there all this information. Usually we put the videos there, the recording. And also in our YouTubes. Ricardo has YouTube, me too, so you can find it there. Let me just go up, and I think we have 5 minutes. Apologies, I haven't kept up with notices. I attended the Masterclass last September. Is there a link resource to stay current with the list AI sites Chris, yeah, thank you. And I remember you were in one of the first masterclass. We have this LinkedIn group, and then we just keep updating whenever there's something. So we'll let you know if there's coming something. But the idea is that people who join the masterclass, they can see the recordings of guest speakers that we have, like Mark Esposito or people from PMI. We had the CEO of PMI, Pierre. And so this is what we want to do, is that you have access to all that material. What else, Marcial? I think it's all about tool, PM Auto, Otter. I used to Otter regularly for that transcript. Now Zoom is doing a lot of that too, so I like both. What else? I heard that AI will replace PM. I really don't think this is being... Kathy, no, I don't think AI will replace PM. I think the risk that I see it replacing PMs is that we don't change the way we do things, for sure. If our goal as project managers is to deliver on time, on budget, on scope, I think that's where AI can play a role, or machine learning, or all these new advanced tools, for sure. Where I think they cannot take over is creating a team, a high-performing team, focusing on benefits, talking about benefits, managing change, managing stakeholders, persuading people. So there's all this room for also knowing how to use AI with traditional ways of managing project. I was visiting a factory the other day, and they have these automated robots. And I asked, how do you make sure that the robot works well with a person? And this was a challenge. They had already some accidents because you see a robot there, and when people get too close, the robot will think that's not a person. That's something that they need to pull, and they had accidents. So learning to work as a project manager with technologies and robots is going to be something very interesting and challenging. But as long as we develop and grow and focus on what really matters, I'm not worried about project managers. See, we want to keep the way we've been doing for the last 50 years. That's where I think there's a big risk. And I've written a lot about the project economy, the future of work, being project-based. So not worry, but we need to learn, we need to change, we need to look at different ways of projects because that's where otherwise somebody else will do it, including potentially AI. Okay, well, there's a lot of things here that are coming still in the text. Thank you. Sorry that I cannot cover all the questions, and sorry also for the breakouts, they didn't work out. We'll see if we can do that next time so that you can connect with each other and have also some kind of community discussion and sharing like we've seen here. You all have already some experience and maybe some of you more deeper, but I want to leave it here. I know it's Friday for some of you, already late in the evening, and it's weekend. So I do want to thank you for being here. Unfortunately, Ricardo is traveling, but you saw the video. And we're going to see each other in a month, the first Friday of September. Just follow Ricardo, follow me on LinkedIn. We're doing always a lot with our newsletters and our courses. And again, it's not just us. You are seeing the world too. You're seeing the changes too. So feel free to reach out to us. Hey, Antonio, listen, we tried that one and it's amazing. Can you share more? And we'll see how we can connect. If you're interested in the masterclass, a certification, we'll announce it in September for sure. We're going to be more giving more details, and then also the Venture Lab. We're going to start working on the 6 candidates and try to see if there's something there that we can share. Plus, the developments on our side with AI Predictor is super exciting. What's happening there? So we'll share more and next time we meet. So. Thank you. I want to thank you, really. Your time for us means a lot. It's not something that I know 1 hour is a lot of time, and being there every month, I hope we give you back the time and the value and the ideas and the enthusiasm and the passion that Ricardo and I have, and wish you a happy month of August. Try to relax do a bit of detox. I try to do detox on WhatsApps or emails. It's always healthy to clean up and then come back stronger when we get started in September. Thank you